Hey, what's up out there? It's Dave Duford yet again at Final Expense Agent Mentor at feagentmentor.com. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Christmas season. It's almost Christmas time here. And wanted to put together a video today on how to sell Final Expense as a cross-sell opportunity if you're not necessarily an agent that specializes in the final expense market. If you watch my videos, you know a lot of what I talk about is how to be successful as a final expense agent selling final expense. However, I know there's a lot of you out there who watch my videos but don't necessarily sell final expense exclusively. Maybe you sell mortgage protection, Medicare insurance, or you do something in the same similar kind of senior markets, but it's not necessarily a focus on the final expense product exclusively. So you're the reason I'm putting this particular video together. What I'm going to discuss are 5 different markets that you can sell final expense into. And then as we go through each market, I'm going to sort of kind of describe the process as to how to find out where the final expense opportunity may lie. So sit back and enjoy. Hopefully I can help you make more sales, because the main reason with doing this is that, again, lots of people watch this, aren't necessarily exclusive to final expense, but there's a lot of opportunity to sell final expense to people who don't necessarily fit the regular mold of a final expense prospect, meaning somebody who maybe mails off some sort of direct mailer campaign or something like that. So you want to take these sales when you find them. It's very easy to get if you present the opportunity the right way. And as always, it's money that's just laying there on the floor waiting to be picked up. And if you know how to do it, it's a good skill to have. So let's first start with the most logical product that is more similar to our market, and that's Medicare. So when I say Medicare, what I'm talking about are agents who sell Medicare supplements or agents who sell Medicare Advantage. As far as I'm concerned, probably the market that's closest to a final expense type of prospect is a Medicare Advantage client. Specifically what we call dual enrollees or SNPs. These are people that are further subsidized more so than Medicare supplement clients. They're usually going to have a more pronounced need for burial life insurance and that kind of thing. So let's start with the Medicare Advantage side first. The first thing you got to be aware of is I'm not a Medicare Advantage agent. I don't have any experience whatsoever in compliance. I know enough about Medicare Advantage that compliance is king. So make sure you follow your compliance rules when it comes to cross-selling, and take what I say with a grain of salt. Always follow your compliance first. So with that said, the simple process is a very simple process. A lot of you guys probably just got done writing a bunch of Medicare Advantage plans. They're going to start here in the beginning of the year. Perfect opportunity is to follow up with these people if you've already sold them, and just do a courtesy call to make sure everything's good. And do the old Columbo. Oh, by the way, I also offer and help people with final expense life insurance to pay for burial and cremation. What are you doing right now for your life insurance? Just a simple question like that on a phone call. And somebody, they'll either tell you what they're doing or they'll say they're completely fine. Either way, my recommendation is to go right into an appointment setting script like what I taught the other day, the process in setting an appointment. Say, hey, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. Now's not necessarily the time to get into too much personal detail, but I'd like to come by tomorrow for 5 minutes just to show you what I do, so you can make sure that you're getting the best deal that you qualify for. How's Tuesday at 2 or would 10 work better? Same process, same script. This is for people who wrote Medicare Advantage plans that are looking for ways to do other things now, and the greatest place to start is working that existing book of business. If you're in front of a Medicare prospect, Medicare Advantage prospect at the moment, let's say you're doing it right now, you're writing one up now who's aging into 65 and they're getting on an MA Medicare Advantage plan. The best thing you can do is just, again, do a Columbo. Hey, oh, by the way, just curious, I know we're here to talk about Medicare, but what are you doing for life insurance? Gather some facts. I don't know, again, compliance-wise, if you got to go back again to these people or if you could sell them on the spot. I think it's okay if you go back to them later. Just say, you know, get the information, write the Medicare Advantage plan, and then present the opportunity to reschedule another appointment to talk specifically about life insurance. Again, a lot of these people are going to be great prospects for both products. The second option, or the second market that we'll talk about, is Medicare supplements. So supplements differ from Medicare Advantage, and so that I believe, personally, your Medicare supplement prospect is going to be a little bit higher demographic, income, socioeconomic. They've got a little bit more discretionary income. And although they do make a little more money and maybe have already taken care of their life insurance, there's still going to be the opportunity. There's a lot of people who have term insurance plans that are terming out. Maybe they've got an imploding universal life plan they picked up 25 years ago that's just going through the roof now. Or maybe they've just got one of them junk mail insurance companies that have 5-year level increasing terms that you can easily replace if you identify the opportunity. So it's the same process. You're in front of your Medicare supplement prospects. Ask them, oh, by the way, just curious, what are you doing for your life insurance? Get the facts, gather the facts. Talk to your upline if you're not sure, if you're just a mostly Medicare guy, but you're not sure how life products work. You talk to me even if you want to send me a message. I'll be happy to tell you what your product that your prospect has does and what it may do and kind of how to position the sale on a second call. But let's say you know how to do all this stuff. Make the sale right then and there, of course. Now, the other opportunity to do is that if you are in what's called the turning 67 and older market for Medicare, and so what this is for clients who have had Medicare supplements, who have gone through a couple rate increases, and they're livid. They don't like rate increases, and so they're shopping their price to try to lock in lower rates. You can do the old-fashioned found money approach. So if you save somebody $40, $50 a month, you've now got $40 or $50 a month that you can work into to add value through a supplementary final expense sale. This is a perfect opportunity to say, hey, look, not only can I get you the same price, or I can get you a lower price, lock in a lower rate, but also I wanted to offer you the potential to have some kind of life insurance. You talked earlier, you're looking to be buried, cremated. Again, you can weave in these fact-finding questions early on and then present, hey, look, at your age, 67, $40 will buy you a $5,000 plan. I don't know what it is, just ballparking here. That's enough to cremate you, leave some money left over to take care of some bills. So we can either go with a med sup, save you $50 a month, or we can save you $10 a month, but then lock in your cremation expenses so you don't have to worry about that. It's very easy to qualify for no medical exams, blah, blah, blah. What do you prefer? Easy way to make sales with found money. Not only final expense, but you can sell indemnity plans, cancer plans, all sorts of stuff with that newfound money. And it's not even money that they're actually spending, right? They've found the money that's saved, and they're just using found money that they wouldn't have lost anyway towards something they need to purchase anyway. So very good opportunity to sell final expense that way. And a lot of people buy it. Again, people who buy tend to buy again. You're putting them in heat, I guess you could say. And if you sell them something, if you offer them something else along with it, especially with no excess money on top of it spent, even still saving, there are a lot of times will buy. So now let's move to mortgage protection. So this is a little bit more interesting. So mortgage protection is where you sell typically a non-medical term plan. The concept is to protect against death or protect against the mortgage if you die, so the mortgage is paid and your loved ones don't have to pay it. It's a great concept. It sells a lot of insurance. It's very useful. People appreciate it. Now, sometimes, though, when you run into mortgage protection clients, they tend to be older and less healthy. So this isn't so much of as a cross-sell opportunity as an opportunity to sell insurance where you otherwise may pass it up. So you can sell these people a final expense plan because the process and the health questions are more simplified. It's more likely you're going to get it approved at a preferred rate with first day full coverage. And the concept you want to sell here is a payment protection plan. So if you can't sell, say it's a $250,000 mortgage, there's just no way in hell they're going to qualify or even afford a $250,000 mortgage. Maybe you sell them, they're paying $500, $600 a month. Maybe you sell them a plan through final expense that covers that mortgage payment for 2 or 3 years. So maybe you sell them a $15,000 plan. But the way that you pitch it is, look, this is what it costs to be fully protected or even half protected. It's this extreme amount of money. But another option we have here is a payment protection plan. So when you die, we pay this to your beneficiary, and they can apply that money towards the payments, enough time to get on their feet, to get their financial act together, and if possible, if necessary, sell the home without potentially losing it and being devastated financially. So again, great way to sell final expense, but with a twist on it, with a different type of conceptual sale. A lot of people who are older will buy that idea. You can always even just sell a basic cremation plan or burial plan on top of the medical plan too as well. you can present both. Here's your mortgage plan. I just wanted to show you a simple cremation plan. You mentioned that you'd like to be cremated. This runs you 20, 30 bucks a month. Is that something that you'd like to add on to this particular deal? So another way to make another sale. A question 4 here, or situation 4, is if you sell annuities. And now as we get up here into the economic rung of society where people have their act together, they've saved, they've invested, they've had pensions, it's not unlikely, but it's less likely that you're going to sell final expense in the traditional manner. So the annuity approach is very similar to the Medicare approach. You're going to ask questions ahead of time. Oh, by the way, using the Columbo pitch, what are you doing for your life insurance right now? And you may not necessarily sell final expense. You may end up selling more traditional products, maybe an underwritten product for other obligations beyond final expenses, or a burial. Final expenses are final expenses. Their just need may be higher. But go ahead and ask those questions, because I have sold all sorts of burial insurance plans to people who have had annuities. It's not that it can't happen. It's just that, a lot of the times the sales are made to improve the kind of coverage they have. You may, again, run into somebody who has an annuity that's terming out of their insurance plan they've had forever, or they've just had a price increase. And by asking that question, what are you doing for your life insurance, it really sets you up to improve on their situation. Worst case, you gather the facts when the term insurance goes up, and you put that into your CRM, and you make a simple phone call to follow up. Hey, you asked me to follow up. I promised I would. When it comes to your term insurance, it's supposed to go up to the roof. Can I come by and show you maybe some other options you have? So you can create a client and more sales opportunities that way. Last one we'll talk about here is when you make a life sale to a younger person. So let's say you sell somebody my age in their 30s or 40s, and you're thinking, well, how can I sell final expense to these people? Well, I think more of the way to look at this would be to sell something more along the lines of a referral. So a lot of these, of course, I have parents who are final expense age. I have parents who've bought final expense from me. And if you ask them, hey, oh, by the way, I know this isn't related to you per se, and I'm glad we took care of your life insurance, but what are your parents doing? What happens if they die, and who's going to pay their final expenses? They may be the person that are going to come up the money. A lot of people that end up buying life insurance do it at the behest of the kids. The kids push the parents to making that decision to buy life insurance. So it's one of those things where a lot of the times, again, people procrastinate about buying life insurance, and they do it to the point where if they die, or they do die, and then it's on the kids. And so a lot of the times the kids understand this. Like, for example, my mother. My mom never owned life insurance throughout her entire life. And then when I began to sell life insurance, I approached her and said, hey, buy a policy for me. I need to make a sale, but you need it anyway. And she knew she did. But a lot of the times people change their thoughts and processes and thinking based on, an experience from a loved one insisting that they do this. I've got a phone call to place into somebody that later on today that's going to buy insurance, and the reason they're doing it is because the kids pushed the bar because they know they needed it. So when it comes to the younger person, there's opportunities for final expense. It's just going to be with the parents. And you got to get them thinking in the mindset, what happens if they die? Are you going to be responsible for that expense? Because many times these kids are broke and they can't afford 10, 15 grand at the drop of a hat for a burial, not just for mom, but for dad too. And so they will be, you'll be asking the old Ben Feldman disturbing questions to get people thinking and eventually gather referrals and sell their parents. So I hope you enjoyed this particular filming and training on how to sell final expenses. Hopefully you can see there's a ton of options to do it. You don't have to market final expense and be a specialist like me per se to have these opportunities. In fact, there is a lot of sales to be made. These people, life insurance is sold in the traditional sense, not bought. And by asking good questions, fact-finding ahead of time, and if you're selling Medicare using found money or asking for referrals, you're going to get all sorts of opportunities to sell final expense to make good commissions, simplified issue with no long-term wait to get things done and get the ball rolling. And if you have any questions, if you've got a case like this and you're wondering what company to put it with, how the underwriting is going to work, and you need some assistance, please feel free. Comment below. Go to my website, feagentmentor.com. Feel free to message me. I'll be happy to give you my perspective on what cases would work or what carriers would work. I have a very intimate, detailed experience in the final expense business when it comes to underwriting and pricing, and I definitely can help you if you've got a client that you think would be perfect for this kind of product. And until later, or until then, thank you so much for listening. Feel free to leave a comment below. Subscribe if you haven't. Thumbs up this video if you haven't already. And I will see you probably tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. Take care.